This mid-drive electric mountain bike has a torque sensor, full suspension, and Samsung battery cells. It's called the Haoqi Mustang premium electric mountain bike. So let's review it. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. And one of the most significant features on this bike is the Bafang M560 mid-drive motor. According to the spec sheet, it's rated for 130 newton meters of torque, 500 watts, and a weight of 3.3 kilograms. And unlike the typical hub motors, that weight is not back here in the hub. It's in a more ideal place here in the center of the bike. And also, unlike hub motors, all of the power is sent through the chainring, through the chain, to the gears, so you can change what kind of torque you're actually getting. In general, mid-drive motors are really good for torque, hill climbing, mountain biking, popping wheelies. I'll show you here more in a few. There are some downsides to mid-drive motors compared to hub drives. We'll talk about that here a bit later. And it is a full suspension electric mountain bike on a linkage. So this coil rear shock utilizes this pivot to get a little more leverage out of it. Spring rate on the coil is 850 pounds per inch. And on the other side, we do get an adjustment, probably for the rebound. You can also adjust the spring here, rotating this. And the battery resides in here. Haoqi. Hopefully it's not pokey. Take a look at the front suspension in a few, but let's get this battery out first. Different battery than typical. Check this thing out. So it's got a frame match color here, and then just like the shape and stuff of this is a little bit different than typical. And it is a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery containing 720 watt hours of energy. How long does it take to charge? Well, it depends on what kind of charger we got. Oh, nice. 3 amp charger. So if you ran that 15 amp hour battery down to 0, it would take you about 5 hours to charge it from empty to full. 15 amp hours, about 3 amps. Pedals are metal and they have some metal cleats on there, thoughtfully designed to grip into your shoe. Keep them away from your shin though. And unlike a lot of the bikes I review, this one, the pedals are actually gonna be kind of important because it is a mid-drive and it has the Bafang torque sensor on here. What a torque sensor means is it will give you power in proportion to how hard you press on the pedals. And I have found these Bafang mid-drive in particular torque sensors to be pretty good. So I'm excited to try it. Seat is definitely mountain bike style. There's the shape for it. Feels pretty nice to the touch. It's got a quick release for easy adjustments. Does not appear to have a dropper post or anything super fancy. We'll be rolling on a Haoqi display made by Gemma, which speaking of Gemma, we do get Gemma hydraulic disc brakes. Rotors are 180 millimeter and a little sensor back here for our speed. Same exact 180 mil rotor on the front wheel. Also, we will have a through axle, which is ideal. A little bit more sturdy, robust for off-roading. Tire size is 27.5, also known as 650Bs in the mountain bike world. 2.8 inches wide. Knobby tread for some off-roading. Brand is WD. Is that Whistling Diesel? Somewhat interesting stem. Not sure I've seen one like this before. Wonder what those holes are for. Handlebars will have a slight rise. Hand grips are rubber and round. There's the controls. Little bell. Gemma hydraulic brake levers. And there will be 8 speeds on the Shimano shifter, along with, heck yeah, quarter twist throttle. So sometimes these mid-drive motors will not come with a throttle at all. Super pumped to see this. Front suspension is SR Suntour XCM34 Boost. Not sure what all that means. There is the preload on the left, and over on the right it says lock, open, and is there clicks? I don't know if there's if that's like an on-off switch or if we're getting adjustments there. We'll find out later. So we'll check it out. Here's how that works. Pretty clean. And as mentioned, it has a through axle, Suntour through axle. It's called a through axle because it goes there. I don't think they gave us a kickstand, bro. So there does appear to be some weight-saving features on this bike, including no kickstand, no headlight, no rear taillight, but we do get reflectors, no fenders. Pros and cons, we'll take the weight savings in this case. Which, speaking of weight, let's see what the scale has to say. Battery weighs in at 8.4 pounds. And let's see what the bike weighs in if I stand on the scale holding it. 251.8 minus 251.8 minus 196.2. 62.6 pounds without the battery, plus 8.2 for the battery. So that's 70 pounds on that. Drop that battery in. And let's peel off the protector and power this thing on. Haoqi. Display is color. Looks like we got some different modes. We're in class 1, sport, odometer, assist. Looks pretty clean and large. Let's try the buttons here. We got 5 levels of assist on class 1 in sport mode. Then we tap the M button. So we get max speed, average speed, odometer, trip, max speed, and there is a light button. There is no actual light that ships with this one. I'm not really sure. We'll have to check the manual for the rest of the stuff. I'm actually gonna hold the M button and see what happens. Oh, so you get into the settings that way. We'll leave it on miles per hour, backlight, settings, password. Let's see what this one is. Oh, you gotta have a password. Maybe hold the plus button. Oh yeah, that changed it to class 2, nice. And then hold plus button again. Oh, class 1. So holding the plus button does that. I'm guessing holding the minus button is gonna make this thing take off on me. So let's be ready for it just in case. Holding the minus button. Oh, yep, that was about to take off. So let's go ahead and sit on that thing. Seat is on minimum height. I'm still 6'5", inseam 34. Suspension is feeling plush, faux show. Front suspension is locked out. Front suspension is soft on the softest setting, very soft. Definitely sounds like an air shock. Is there adjustment on it? There is. So there's not like clicks on this Sun Tour, but you can rotate it and it adjusts it. Feels all right. Definitely got good travel to it. I didn't check the spec sheet, but I'd say that's about 120 millimeters. And there is adjustments on the rear as well. Spring rate is set in stone, or set in spring, I should say. But there is this rebound adjustment. It's a little bit hard to turn it. With the seat on minimum height, here is my pedal stroke. Obviously too short. I don't know if they offer this bike in multiple frame sizes or not. Check the link below to see. Seat post on the maximum recommended maximum height. As me sitting like this. Compared to the hub drives I typically review, this is not rotating the chain back as I backpedal, so there's no chain noise. Suspension feels like really soft and plush. This feels like it's gonna be a nice riding bike, definitely. Let me raise that seat post up just a bit more. You could definitely get a longer seat post on this if you want the seat height to be a bit higher. Here's where I'm sitting at now. So this bike, in this form, will be probably a little bit too small for me. I should get a longer seat post to make it fit me perfectly, but this feels like it'll be comfortable. Please don't fall, there is no kickstand. Seat post diameter is 30.4 millimeters if you do want to get a different one. So there's no kickstand. I'm gonna try and pick the whole bike up, use the throttle, show you how this works. You'll see the power gets sent through the chain. It's gonna go through this. Back to the gears. Risk my fingers grabbing this bike right about here. And we have it on class 1 sport mode, pedal assist 5. So let's try this. Oh wow. Yeah. Dang. That's got some torque, man. We haven't even used the gears. So it'll take us up to 20 on throttle. So as you can see, the power is sent through the chain. It does have a cutoff sensor. If I hold down the throttle and then go shift gears, if I hold down the throttle and shift gears, I think it has a cutoff sensor. So 8 gears on this cassette. It's nice that it does have the cutoff. As you change gears, it'll temporarily cut power to the chain so you don't mash up your gears. These mid-drive motors have a ton of torque. You don't want that to happen, and this bike will not allow it to happen, which is great. Shimano Altus derailleur. And I should mention the chain ring up front is definitely geared for some lower speed situations. So looking at the gearing and this motor, this thing should be a monster climber, big time torque. Let's go try it out. And there is the speed sensor. Wonder what happens if we unplug that. Maybe we can get this thing up faster than we should be able to go. Actually, I just switched it to class 2. Let's try class 2. Motor does make a little bit of noise, as you can hear. Getting pumped, dude. All right, dudes, let's go do the hokey pokey and see what the Mustang is all about. So how does this go? We put your cell phone in, check our range. Oh, suspension's feeling soft. So we are on sport mode. There is a boost mode we'll try later. We can get in the advanced settings. I'll show you that in a few, but let's get on out of here, feel this thing out. Feeling that mid-drive working. All right, so let me show you how this thing does on the 20% grade. We have on gear number 1, which is significant because all the power is gonna go through those gears. And I'll just go ahead and get on the throttle here. It's in sport mode, which is the default, and torque is really where mid-drive motors shine. And as you can see, we're pulling up this thing about 7 miles an hour there. So if you're looking for like a hill climbing bike or something, mid-drive or like dual hub motor is kind of really the ultimate. Ooh, we're sliding. So let's just go ahead and start this from a complete stop. I think there's brake cutoff sensors, yes. So you can see I'm sliding back. Actually, you know what? I can just hit up against I'm up against this thing. So ready, just get on the throttle here a bit. From a complete stop on the 20% grade and then full throttle, we're accelerating. So there's a good example of the torque on this thing. So there's really not too many e-bikes on this channel that can start from a complete stop on the 20% grade, but mid-drive e-bikes and dual hub motor e-bikes are amongst the best for it. Let me just go ahead and rip it completely. We might pop a wheelie here. Ready, go. Oh, whoa. Front end was about to come off there a bit. And yeah. And that was throttle only, no pedaling whatsoever. So the display is not rotatable because it bolts on there. I don't think it's fine. You know, it's fine how it is, but just kind of noting it doesn't rotate. And we do have a torque sensor on this thing, so let's go ahead and feel it out here today. I did notice the gears are just very slightly misaligned out of the box, so I had to hold it there. We might have to get down there and mess with the Altus adjustments, because having these gears lined up is pretty important. Well, let's just go ahead and pedal here on the stock settings. It's torque sensor. Felt like there's a little bit of a delay on that actually. So starting from a stop, suspension is feeling very, very plush on this bike for sure. It's like soft and, you know, it just feels really nice out of the gate. So I'm gonna give it just a little throttle there off the line, and then torque sensor. So the torque sensor and the mid-drives are amongst the best. Let's see how this one feels. So we're on pedal assist 1. What if we switch it to 0? So 0 gives you no assistance at all. You could ride this thing like a normal bike if you want, but who wants to do that when you got an electric motor on there? Not feeling that sensor kick on quite yet though. Or maybe it is, I don't know. If so, it's pretty gentle. So pedal assist 1, sport mode, gear number 2 from a dig. Oh yeah, torque sensor feels really nice. First impressions anyway. Kicks on like right away. I should probably firm the suspension up just a little bit. So this front suspension's a little different than typical. A lot of times like there's like distinct clicks. This thing just moves like so easily. There's no clicks, but it does actually adjust it. So it is on the soft end. It's like, yeah, even when it's like fully on, it's still pretty soft. Let's feel this torque sensor out some more. Yeah, so pedal assist 1 doesn't make you work for it too much, honestly. Size wise, at 6'5", I can tell you this bike is too short for me. I'm not getting the proper pedal stroke on this one. Let's go ahead and switch it to about gear number 4 out of 8 now. We're still on pedal assist 1. Seems like the limit is about 9 or 10 miles an hour. It's not really helping me anymore. But if I use the throttle, it will. And we're on class 1 right now. We're not even on class 2 yet. So class 1, there's all the adjustments on this thing. Class 1, assist 1. Let's switch it, class 1, assist 2. And I can hear just like a small little whine on that mid-drive motor. We got a little bit of wind out here today. And yeah, it's still giving me power. It's making me work for it on pedal assist 2. Let's try 3. Oh yeah. And I'm just gonna switch it on to the top gear of 8 now. This feels like a nice natural cadence here, cruising at about 12 miles an hour. Pedal assist 3, class 1, and pushing a little bit harder. So it gives you power in proportion to how hard you press on the pedals. Looks like it tops us out at about 13 on pedal assist 3. Let's try pedal assist 4. It's got a distinct noise on the hub compared to a lot of the bikes I review. It's like a loud one, kind of. Some people like that. I kind of like it. Just feeling that torque sensor out some more. So if I just pedal just very, very lightly on pedal assist 4, it'll just help me just, you know, a little bit and a little bit harder. It's a very responsive torque sensor, as I suspected. The bafang ones are usually pretty good, particularly on the mid-drive motors. And now I'm really cranking. It'll give me more power. And let's just put it on pedal assist 5 now. Yeah, these torque sensors on the mid-drive motors just make it feel like a very intuitive, natural riding experience. Just kind of like you're Superman. Every pedal stroke you push, well, you know, just make you a Lance Armstrong basically. So yeah, you can pedal, use that torque sensor, but you also got the throttle right here. And you can be lazy if you want, or get a jump off the line if you need it on a hill or something, which is nice. Now, pros and cons of a mid-drive motor. We can talk about some of the cons. You got to remember to downshift your gears as you're coming to a stop, because you don't want to really start these things out on your top gear of 8 as opposed to a hub drive motor. It doesn't matter what gear you're on. Like the motor on a hub drive motor, it doesn't use the gears of the bike, but all the power on these ones. Hear that motor winding up like nee. On pedal assist 3, you can hear the RPM just But for example, like let's say we stopped on gear number 8, just gonna be like really hard on all this, you know, the motor, the gears, the battery and everything. Full throttle, full throttle, full throttle. So, you know, it's like if you're in your car starting out in top gear, not how you want to do it. You gotta remember to downshift, you know, down to like 1 or 2. And then also you gotta be careful to not mess up your gears, running too much power as you're shifting. So these ones are a little more complicated than a simple hub drive motor, but they have a lot of benefits. Oh, whoa, whoa. Torque sensor that I have it on pedal assist 5 is about to take off on me. We do have the cutoff sensor. So check it out. Now we're on pedal assist 5, gear number 2 from a stop, and then, oh yeah. Benefits of a mid-drive motor right there. A lot of torque off the line if you use your gears properly. I guess another downside would maybe be you could snap your chain, and if you do snap your chain on a mid-drive motor, you're just kind of SOL. You're not gonna really be able to go anywhere because all of the power from your legs or the motor goes through the chain. If the chain breaks, nothing works. I like mid-drives. I really like mid-drives a lot. I used to be like mid-drive only kind of guy back in 2017, 16 when I built my own e-bike, but hub drives have really grown on me. They have their place. So I think, you know, mid-drives and hub drives are, you know, they're suitable just depending on what you want. Suspension, let's talk suspension and off-roading. I mean, this is like the ideal setup for, you know, some trail riding, off-roading. Suspension really is isolating me from like everything here. I'm feeling nothing coming through this. It's very floaty, soft, not too soft either suspension. This thing feels great. So this is really an ideal setup for trail riding, off-roading. Not so much street riding, but you know, we're gonna do our normal route today. Let's see. So we're on class 1 mode still. There is class 2. I think it'll let us go beyond 20, but class 1, we are stuck at just 20. I forget how to change it. Maybe tap the M button, tap the power button. How do I do it? I don't remember, but 20 is not fast enough for this road. Hold the plus button. Yeah, there we go, class 2. So let's see what class 2 will let us do. So throttle, class 2, will take us beyond 20, I think. So that's awesome. Now it is a 500 watt motor and we're going into a pretty strong headwind here. Throttle will take us beyond 20 though, which is not really, you know, class 2 spec by the book anyway. I have no problem with it. Oh no, I forgot to shift my gears in. Oh well, we only made it to 4, that'll be all right. Totally forgot to put my shades on. Can you see the screen through the polarized lenses? Yes, awesome, that's great. Hopefully everything goes smooth off the line here. Not really sure how my gears are lined up. Go, go, go. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. They're popping a little bit there. Oh no, I'm not where I want to be here. So this is not going to be like a speed demon kind of bike, I can tell you. It's going to be kind of more for like torque. Let me just shift under full load right now. This might snap a gear. Oh no, so it does have a cutoff sensor like when you're doing throttle and you change gears. So that's great. It's kind of like using a clutch on a manual car in a sense. There's like some sort of system on there. Oh nice, that's great. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rough start to this ride, figuring out how all the stuff works on this one. It's quite a bit different than the typical e-bike I review. Oh shoot, let's go. Oh yeah, so just careful shifting too many gears too fast. Like it does have the cutoff sensor, but you just can't use it recklessly. All right, so let's give it a 0 to 20 acceleration. I have it on pedal assist 5 class 2, but it's on gear 2. So let's just see like what the top speed is, what the acceleration is like. Ready, go. 15, and that's pretty much where it'll top out. So you can't hit 20 on gear 2, but do a little full acceleration shift again, and it looks like gear number 4 would hit 20, well 19. Gear 5 should take us to 20. Brakes feel good. Everything about this bike feels pretty darn good. Little dive on that suspension. I guess front suspension is a bit soft. Ooh, we got somebody out here racing. All right, so let's try 0 to 20 on gear number 5. So acceleration will be a little bit slower, a little less force to the rear wheel. You still get that 130 Newton meters of torque from the motor regardless of what gear you're on, but ultimately the force to the ground is changed by that final gear ratio. So we'll be able to hit top speed, a little slower acceleration. Ready, go. So you can tell it's a little slower off the line, not too much though. 10, 15, 19, 20. So pretty solid. Then the alternate method, which probably is kind of dumb to do, would be to just go through the gear, start out on gear number 1, which we're on right now, and then full throttle it. Ready, go. Oh yeah, quite the launch, but yep, we're out. And then, oh geez. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, it's like kind of cutting power, like a really slow 1970s automatic transmission as you shift each gear. Oh yeah, feeling good. Let's try and get a little air. Oh yeah, this suspension's like really soft, man. So I like that it has the name brand Bafang motor. Bafang is, you know, they're pretty darn good, budget-friendly e-bike motors, mid-drive motors. They make some good products, pretty reliable stuff. That was the first e-bike I actually built, was a Bafang mid-drive motor. Chose it for a reason. Oh, here we are on gear 8, and this dude's running the light. He's like, screw it, bro, I am not waiting for you. This bike got a little bit of urban camping going on here. So maybe another pro and con of mid-drive is I feel like the mid-drives, well, this one anyway, does have a little bit of a whine to it. You can hear it. I feel like there definitely are some hub drive motors that make less noise than that. And maybe another downside of a mid-drive motor would be the chain maintenance and gear maintenance. Like you're gonna have to clean your chain's gonna wear out more often because, you know, all that torque and power is getting sent through the chain and the gears, so you get that benefit of the torque, but you'll probably have a little more maintenance compared to hub drive. But on the mid-drive, ultimately, if you want a good pedaling experience that just feels like what I was saying earlier about just kind of feeling like Lance Armstrong, you know, Superman riding a bike. It's really natural, intuitive riding experience. A mid-drive is probably the ultimate best way to go if, you know, you want a great pedaling experience. And let's see what we can do on her top speed here. We'll shift down a couple gears actually. Start on 6 and then 7, 8. That's top gear, not pedaling. Doesn't matter if I pedal. I can keep up. Yeah, I can keep up. A little bit of tailwind, it'll get us up to right around 26, 27 miles an hour. So that is class 3. Is that class A? Class A. Let's get that part out. 28 there on the dash. Yeah, 27, 28 is about the top speed. This isn't going to be like a speed demon. This is a torquey, hill climbing kind of bike. Speaking of mid-drive, there goes some mid-drive bikes right over there. So we are on the Haoqi Mustang, and there is a crowd of people right there. So we'll get out here and try it on the sand. The tires are probably going to be too skinny. This bike does have a lot of torque, but the tires are probably going to kind of sink in. All right, I just kind of want to play around here. Put it on about gear 2. Let's just see what happens here. So lots of torque, but yeah, tires kind of sinking in there. Oh yeah, that's fun. Check it out. All the torque, man. Let's try not to crash. Ooh, tires are sinking. Floaty suspension, man. Might have to unplug these brake sensors and do a little burnout later. Or right now. Whoa. The suspension is kind of like a Mustang, like, you know, it's like you just floor it ready. Kind of sinks you back down in there. I used to have a Mustang, I can tell you. So I can tell you, if you're looking for like just simplicity in an e-bike, you're probably gonna be annoyed with how much you have to like change the gears and stuff. But I mean, let's try this again. Oh yeah! Plenty of torque, just the tires don't love the sand. Let's go over this actually. Oh yeah, what is happening here? Bicycles, and a surfboard, a couple surfboards. Okay, I try this hill in like every video. Let's see if we can do it on this bike. Full throttle, first gear. So kind of just like ran out of, well, traction, and oh no, did we run over dog poop? There's no fenders on this thing. Yeah. This is, we gotta get that on gear number 2, bro. Definitely not a sand bike whatsoever. And feel the suspension out here. I'm just gonna kind of talk as we go through this so you can hear like my voice and all that. Insulation from the bumps pretty darn well, I'd say, man. I wonder if we could climb the stairs over here. These stairs right here. All right, we're gonna try going down these stairs, and we'll swing it around and try and go up these stairs. Which may or may not be a good idea. Curious if this suspension's gonna bottom out or how it's gonna handle it. Yeah, it's fine, it didn't bottom out. Oh, that was on the softest setting too, so you can firm that up quite a bit. That's locked. Oh yeah. All right, so using gear 2, I'm gonna see if we can climb this. Probably a horrible idea. Oh yeah, bad idea. But, yeah, it's got torque. Gotta soften that suspension back up. I don't like that. What's happening, fellas? 28 on throttle on a mid-drive. That's actually kind of one nice thing about this one, because typically a lot of mid-drives, they'll cut you off at 20 miles an hour.
They don't even have a throttle, a lot of mid-drives.
A lot of them, yeah, you're right. A lot of them don't. Yeah, I need to incorporate that into my video. 23, 24, yeah.
I guess those mid-engines are more expensive.
Typically, yeah, they are.
You don't need as big a battery with mid-drives.
Exactly, they're a little more efficient on the power delivery. So there's not a kickstand on it. Yeah, that's about max right there, yeah. The shift up is there and down is there. And yeah, go ahead, man.
I like it. I mean, it's nice. My first time ever riding a mid-drive, so it feels nice. Well, I gotta be careful with this torque sensor. I'm not used to it. Very comfortable.
Yeah, you could go. Yeah, it is.
I like it.
Cool.
Oh, it's actually pretty light, huh?
It's not bad. You're still working out, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still working out.
This is lightweight for you.
That's a nice display, huh? Well, let me give it a try.
Go for it.
The spokes look pretty heavy duty.
I didn't even look at the spokes. You guys already brought up two things I need to add to the video.
Very nice. The brakes are awesome on this. I think they're really good.
I agree.
Pretty spunky.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's not really like a speed demon. It's kind of more like torque, hill climber, off-roading kind of thing.
I like it.
The battery's kind of a little different on the integration too. You're right. Haoqi. We're out here doing the hokey pokey today.
Little seat there, huh?
Mountain bike, yeah.
Sweet, man.
Not too shabby. Watch out, crowd. Mustang coming in. This bike is ultimately going to be the best for off-roading, trail riding, like I said. Let's try this little trail up here. Oh my goodness, that was some dog doo-doo there for sure. But we didn't hit it because there are no fenders on this thing, which does help keep the weight of it down. Yeah, I mean, it's so balanced. Like the hub drive motors aren't as balanced as the mid-drive motors due to where the weight is placed on that wheel of the hub drive motor. And then just all the torque and better balance. Makes it better for trail riding. Yeah, let's just put it on gear one, do throttle on. We're still in sport mode. We're gonna try boost mode here in a bit, but full throttle, gear one. So plenty of torque, and you can hear kind of the whine of the motor there a little bit. What the heck, we have a mountain bike. Let's go do a little bit of trail riding-ish here. Looks like some kiddos have been over here tearing this up. Oh yeah, there's like tire marks all over this, dude. Ooh. Oh yeah, a little air right there. Suspension on this thing is pretty good. So the default mode is sport mode, but if you hold down the M button, you can get in the settings here. Go on over to the engineering tab. Password is 1919, and on class 2 or limited, you can't change it beyond 45 kilometers an hour. Like you can get into the menu, it won't let you change the speed, but we can go down here to sport mode and switch it to boost. So I think boost would be the top, but there's also eco, sport, and boost. So let's try boost. Ready, go. Can't really tell much of a difference between sport, or actually I can't tell any difference, but there might be a difference. Yeah, still feels zippy. Oh, a little bit wet right there. Wasn't expecting that. I don't know where that liquid came from. It hasn't rained here in a few months. Oh, that's pretty steep. Oh yeah. Nice. Yeah, so I don't think boost mode really did too much, but let's go try California incline, see what kind of speed we can hit over there. Grass is looking nice, man. Yeah, the suspension's pretty good, man. So one thing that I really like about this particular mid-drive bike is it has a throttle on it. A lot of these mid-drive bikes don't have a throttle at all, but not only does this one have a throttle that works up to 20, it will actually work up to 28, which I feel like that is pretty darn uncommon to see on a mid-drive electric mountain bike. Personally, I like the sound of the loud hub. What do you guys think on loud hubs? You want a quiet hub or a loud hub? Definitely one way to let people know you're coming. I guess maybe the downside of having a throttle is, oh man, it just makes it so hard to actually want to pedal this bike. Like despite how good the torque sensor is on this, I'm really just not incentivized to pedal this bike at all because one, I'm just too big for it at 6'5", so my pedal stroke is like not even remotely close to being you know, where it should be. And then two, I mean, having the throttle is just so freaking tempting, man. How can you not use it when it's there? All right, let's give it a go on the California incline, 12% grade, 85-foot climb. We're gonna downshift, yeah, first gear here, and just full throttle it. So on first gear, absolutely no problem at all. Let's shift it to second. Oh, popped a couple there, but it's good to go, and we're keeping up with this little city commuter. Now for the main California incline, full throttle. Let's see how we do here. So I'm gonna shift into third gear. Let's off the power for a moment there, and we're not pedaling at all, and pulling 15 miles an hour on gear number 3. Let's shift one more, so I might be able to hit a little faster. 16 miles an hour now, shifting one more gear. Not pedaling, 17 miles an hour. One more gear, so it just makes it a little bit harder on the motor as we're
in higher gears going faster, obviously. But hitting 16, 17 miles an hour on a 500 watt mid-drive Bafang motor. Let's whip that thing around, shift into top gear of 8, going down the California incline. Maybe we can race the Prius on down. And yeah, it just cuts you off right at 28. Now the brakes do feel good. The Gamma hydraulics, about a 70-pound bike. Yeah, these brakes feel really good, man. Torque sensor. It's been a minute since I used it. It just feels so good.
Put my hole over your body, door off, your garbage.
Welcome to LA. And I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. We stopped from about 20, just kind of mashing on the brakes. Oh yeah. So for a 70-pound bike, these brakes they feel really great and stops really quick. I'm gonna tighten down that front suspension so it doesn't dive quite as much and give my second pull here. Yeah. So it looks like we're chilling at about 4 out of 5 on the battery bars. We're gonna head on home. I'll share my final thoughts and we'll see where the final range is. These mid-drive motors do tend to make a little better use of the power, better use of the battery, that is. I mean, if you're using your gears correctly, that is. What is the price on this one? $24.99 is the normal list price. It is on sale for about 100 bucks off that, and the link below this video in the description box. Any other additional discount I can offer you will be available down below the video in the description box. And of course, if you didn't want to buy this e-bike, if you bought through that link, it would help support my reviews, and I greatly appreciate your support. So I mean, really, it's just pros and cons, man. You looking for a mid-drive e-bike? I think one of the good pros of this is the throttle on it, and we can do 28 miles an hour. I like that it's Bafang brand. Battery's fine on this, 15 amp hour, 48 volt. I don't think you'd want a heavier battery than that on a bike like this. Cons, I mean, guess price is a little bit expensive, but sometimes you get what you pay for, man. So we'll take a look at the range here in a minute, but I have been cooking all the way home. It's so nice having this throttle, being able to go 28, a rarity on mid-drives. Looks like it is showing about 3 out of 5 bars there, and that is after an hour and a half ride time. Average speed 11.56 and 17.35 miles. Yeah, showing 3 out of 5 bars remaining there. So if you do want to grab one, use that link down below the video in the description box. Buy through that link. It would help support my reviews and help give you the best price as well. However, if this is not the kind of e-bike you're looking for, watch this video right here, dude. YouTube is recommending it, and YouTube knows exactly what you want to watch. Catch you over there.